Just think, you must have seen Venus shining in the night sky many times. But have you ever seen its real face? For years, its surface remained a mystery, wrapped in such thick clouds that even light could not penetrate it. No one knew what was hidden there: melting ground, volcanoes, or something else. Scientists only had guesses. No pictures, no colors. But then, one day, suddenly, everything changed. From the Earth, from orbit, and even from those vehicles that were not even made for Venus. Such pictures came that shook everyone. The surface of Venus was exposed to human eyes for the first time. And the more it was seen, the more the fear and mystery increased. So, what secret did these first real pictures of Venus reveal? And why is it said that this planet is much more mysterious than we think? If you want to know this, then watch this video till the end, because what you are going to hear next will force you to think. If you want to see such videos related to the universe, then subscribe to the channel. The spacecrafts that went to Venus. The planet Venus has always been a mystery for humans. This planet, which appears to be the brightest in the sky, is so dangerous from the inside that till date no human has dared to go there. But human curiosity says that no matter how difficult the place is, it is necessary to go there and know the truth. With this thought in mind, the Soviet Union sent several missions to Venus one after the other in the 1960s and 70s, which were called Venera missions. These spacecrafts showed us the real glimpse of Venus for the first time. Venera 7 came first, in the year 1970. It was the first human spacecraft that landed on the surface of Venus. The conditions on the surface of Venus were so dangerous that no one was sure that this mission would survive. The temperature there was about 465 degrees Celsius, and the pressure was 90 times more than that of the Earth. But still, Venera 7 survived for about 23 minutes and kept sending radio signals from the surface. This moment was recorded in history because, for the first time, humans received data directly from the surface of another planet. After this came Venera 8, which landed in 1972. This spacecraft was made more robust than Venera 7. After landing on Venus, it survived for about 50 minutes. It gave information about the light, soil, and atmosphere there. Its most interesting discovery was that there is so much light on the surface of Venus that if a person stands there, he can see the surrounding scenes clearly. Scientists were surprised to hear this because they thought that it would be dark there due to thick clouds. In 1975, the Soviet Union sent Venera 9 and Venera 10 together. Both these missions made history because they took and sent the first pictures of the surface of Venus. Venera 9 lasted for about 53 minutes and sent black and white pictures in which large rocks and cracks were visible. At the same time, Venera 10 survived for about 65 minutes, and it also sent pictures of the surface. For the first time, humans saw the land of Venus with their own eyes, and it became clear that the land there is completely barren and rocky. After this, Venera 11 and Venera 12 were sent in 1978. Both of them landed on the surface but could not send pictures properly. Still, these spacecraft gave important information about the atmosphere and clouds of Venus. The sky of Venus is filled with clouds of sulfuric acid, and the amount of carbon dioxide in the air is so high that humans cannot even breathe there. Now came the turn of the most famous mission, Venera 13, which landed on Venus in 1982. This mission was a big achievement for the Soviet Union because it lasted there for a full 127 minutes, i.e., more than 2 hours. No other mission has been able to stay on the surface of Venus for so long. It sent color pictures for the first time, seeing which the whole world was surprised. The images showed reddish-brown rocks, and rocky ground. Not only this, it also did chemical tests of the soil and recorded sounds of the atmosphere. The sound of Venus's wind, the rumble of its pressure. All these are still safe with the scientists. Venera 14, which was launched in the same year EEE, 1982, lasted for about 57 minutes. It also sent surface images and soil information. However, a funny mistake happened in it. The equipment for testing the soil accidentally fell on its own landing gear, and the actual soil test could not be done. But whatever data was obtained deepened our knowledge about Venus. The Venera missions sent to Venus mostly lasted only for minutes, or a maximum of 2 hours. But even in this short time, they told us the truth about Venus that no one had even dreamed of before. Venus is a planet that looks like Earth, but it is impossible for humans to survive there. The surface temperature is so high that steel can melt. The air is poisonous, and the pressure can crush a human in an instant. How radar showed the map of Venus. Making a map of Venus was a big challenge in itself. Now, you must be wondering why. The reason is Venus's atmosphere. The entire surface of Venus is covered with thick, poisonous and sulfuric acid-filled clouds. These clouds are so dense that even sunlight cannot reach the surface properly. That is, if you go there with a camera, you will only see hazy clouds. The real ground below will never be clearly visible. This was the reason that for a long time, scientists could not understand anything about the surface of Venus. It was just speculated that maybe there would be volcanoes there, maybe there would be plains or something else. Now, the question was how to make a map of Venus without a camera and without clear pictures. So the answer to this was found from radar technology. Radar means the use of radio waves. When the camera could not cross the fog, the scientists thought of using radio waves. The specialty of radio waves is that they can cross the fog and clouds. So this is what was done on Venus. America sent the Magellan spacecraft into the orbit of Venus in 1989. A special radar system was installed in this spacecraft, which is called synthetic aperture radar. This radar would send radio waves to the surface of Venus and then catch the returning signal. When the wave would return after hitting the surface, its time and the strength of the signal would be used to estimate what kind of terrain is there below. Somewhere it is high, somewhere it is deep, or somewhere it is a smooth plain. In this way, gradually, a map of the entire surface started to be made. But this work was not easy. While constantly revolving around Venus, Magellan had to continuously collect data for almost 4 years. Every time small parts were scanned, and then a big picture was made by joining them. Think of it like a complete map is made by joining the pieces of a puzzle. Finally, the result of this hard work came, and the scientists scanned about 98% of the surface of Venus and prepared its map. Now came the most interesting part. What was shown in the map? When this radar map was revealed for the first time, the scientists were stunned. Many volcanoes were found on the surface of Venus, and they were not just small, but very large and spread out. Not only this, mountains, deep valleys, and vast plains were also seen there. The map showed that the surface of Venus looks exactly like the Earth, but the difference is that the temperature and atmosphere there are deadly for humans. The Magellan mission also revealed that Venus does not have tectonic plates like the Earth. That is, the surface structure is formed in a different way. But it was confirmed that Venus is a very geologically active planet. Making a map of Venus was like trying to make a map of a city covered in clouds with a camera. You will only see fog. But if you send waves that go through the fog and listen to their echo, then you can know whether there are buildings, roads, or empty fields below. The same was done on Venus. So now the question is, why was it so difficult to make a map of Venus? The reason was its dense clouds and poisonous atmosphere. And how was it made? With the help of radar, which penetrated the clouds and reached directly to the surface, and from there returned and gave us signals. The map of Venus that we have today is the result of Magellan and its radar technology. If this mission had not taken place, perhaps even today, we would have seen Venus only as a shining star, and its real surface would have remained a mystery. Was the map of Venus made by sending radar waves from the Earth? Venus has always been a mystery for humans. It appears to be the brightest planet in the sky, but its real surface is not visible to anyone. The reason is its thick clouds. The thickness of the clouds on Venus is about 20 kilometers, and these clouds are made of sulfuric acid. Their density is so high that even sunlight cannot reach the surface. Cameras or ordinary telescopes cannot see anything there. Therefore, the big question before the scientists was, how to make a map of the surface of Venus? This is where radar, i.e., radio detection and ranging came in handy. In simple language, radar is a system that sends radio waves and then estimates the things in front by catching their echo. This same technology is also used in airplanes and ships, but the difference was that this time it was used to see Venus, located 40 million kilometers away. First of all, in 1961, radio waves were sent to Venus from America's Goldstone Deep Space Communication Center, California. These waves bounced back after hitting the surface of Venus, and scientists heard its echo for the first time. At that time, it was known that the surface of Venus is very rough. After that, in 1967, the Arecibo Radio Telescope, Puerto Rico, was used. It was the world's largest radio telescope, and with its help, a low-resolution map of some parts of Venus was made. This map clearly showed that there are vast plains and mountains on Venus. The real work of the map made from the Earth started in the 1970s. American scientists told that there is a mountain named Maxwell Montes on Venus, which is about 11 kilometers high, which is even higher than Mount Everest on Earth. At the same time, the radar also revealed that there are lava flows and volcanoes spread over hundreds of kilometers on Venus. Scientists estimated that there could be about 1,600 large volcanoes on Venus. Now here is another interesting thing. When the waves sent from the Earth hit the surface of Venus and returned, they took about 5 minutes, 30 seconds, to return. That is, the scientists received the response to the signal sent after several minutes. Imagine, the echo received from such a distance was the first real evidence of Venus's surface. These initial data opened the way for scientists. Later, when America sent the Magellan spacecraft in 1989, it scanned 98% of Venus with the help of radar and made a very detailed map. But the real foundation was laid by those Earth-based radar experiments, which showed that the surface of Venus is not completely flat, but there are mountains, plains, and volcanoes. These maps made from the Earth also showed that there are no tectonic plates on Venus like there are on Earth. But the surface there is very active geologically. This means that for millions of years there have been continuous volcanic eruptions and lava flows. This is why Venus is sometimes called Earth's sister. But in reality, its environment is more dangerous than we imagine. So, now understand why it was difficult to make a map of Venus? Because thick clouds hid everything. And how was it made? By catching the echo of radio waves sent from the Earth. Scientists sent the radio signal, measured its time and strength, and prepared a map by combining those data. This task was not easy. but human curiosity and technology made the impossible possible. The map of Venus that we see today has the biggest role of those early radar experiments. If this effort had not been made from the Earth, then perhaps we would still consider Venus to be just a shining star and would not have been able to estimate its real surface. When Parker's solar probe saw Venus, now comes NASA's Parker Solar Probe, PSP, launched in 2018. Actually, this spacecraft was built to study the Sun, but on its way, it had to orbit Venus several times. The reason was that Parker's solar probe had to take the help of Venus's gravity to correct its speed and orbit. This process is called gravity assist flyby. During 2020 and 2021, Parker's solar probe did several flybys of Venus. During these flybys, the spacecraft passed very close to Venus and took pictures of it. Now, the most surprising thing was that the camera near Parker's solar probe, called WISPR, Wide Field Imager for Parker Solar Probe, was actually built to see the plasma and dust around the Sun. No one had even thought that this camera would be able to catch a glimpse of Venus's surface. But when the WISPR camera saw Venus, the results were surprising. For the first time, the surface of Venus was seen shining in visible light. It was like light filtering through a thick curtain, and you could see a blurry view inside. Now the data here is interesting. Parker's solar probe took pictures from a distance of about 7,700 miles, 12,400 kilometers, from Venus in its February 2021 flyby. The pictures showed large geographical structures on the surface, such as high mountains and vast plains. For example, it showed a part of Aphrodite Terra, the highest region of Venus. Apart from this, a place named Tellus Regio was also seen, where high and low areas are spread. Another thing was seen in the pictures, a faint glow of heat emanating from the surface. Scientists saw that the camera of Parker's solar probe was capturing infrared-like light emanating from the surface of Venus at night. That is, even though thick clouds were present, the heat of the surface passed through the clouds and showed the camera a blurry but real glimpse. This was the first time humans had seen the surface of Venus virtually with their own eyes, in visible light. All we had before was radar scans, like the Magellan mission, or short-lived surface images from the Soviet Venera missions. But Parker's solar probe did it in a whole new way. These images meant a lot to scientists. They gave them a deeper understanding of Venus's temperature, surface texture, and volcanoes. The average temperature of Venus's surface is about 465 degrees Celsius, and Parker's solar probe's glimpse proved that this much heat is visible even through the clouds as a glow. NASA later shared these images, saying it was like peeking back a curtain. The images from the WISPR camera helped scientists understand Venus's weather and surface activities. So, Parker's solar probe may be a mission to the Sun, but its flyby made history in Venus exploration as well. For the first time, a spacecraft showed a glimpse of the surface in visible light. It was like you are standing in a field covered with fog, and suddenly a bright light makes the inside view visible little by little. Signs of a living planet. Venus may still be erupting. We often see Venus as a shining star in the sky, but in reality, it is called the twin planet of Earth. It is similar to Earth in size, density, and structure, but the difference is that Venus's atmosphere is extremely dangerous, where the average temperature is 465 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is about 90 times more than that of Earth. That is, if a person stands there, he will burn and get crushed in a moment. Despite such dangerous conditions, scientists have always been curious whether Venus is still a living planet. That is, volcanoes are still erupting there, or there is some movement on the surface. For many years, Venus was considered a dead planet. It was thought that it was active billions of years ago, but now everything is quiet there. But recent studies have changed this thinking. NASA's Magellan spacecraft, which made a radar map of Venus from 1990 to 1994, gave such indications that volcanoes can still be active on Venus. By comparing images taken by Magellan, scientists saw that an area of Venus called Mat Mons, the planet's largest volcano, about 8 kilometers high, had changed over time. Images from 1991 and 1992 showed that in one place, the volcano's mouth had grown larger and the area around it had changed, as if lava had flowed from there. Scientists say that this change was so big that it is difficult to explain it without some geological activity. In addition, Europe's Venus Express 2006 to 2014 mission measured the temperature on the surface of Venus with an infrared camera. It saw heat spots in some areas, which indicates that lava may have erupted there recently. The data showed that the temperature in some places was several hundred degrees higher than the surroundings. This is similar to how lava continues to spread heat until it cools slowly after a volcanic eruption on Earth. NASA's recent research paper, 2023, also said that volcanoes can still be active on Venus. Scientists, by matching computer models and old data, said that 1 to 2 major volcanic eruptions can occur on the surface of Venus every year. This number is very similar to the active volcanoes of the Earth. If this is true, then Venus is truly a living planet. Living does not mean that there is life there, but that the planet is still geologically alive, its surface is changing, and it is still evolving. Now the question is, why is this discovery so big? Actually, if Venus is still volcanically active today, it means that its surface is constantly changing. This will help us understand why there is so much difference between Earth and Venus. Both planets were formed almost the same, but why is Earth habitable, and Venus has become like hell? Scientists believe that frequent volcanic eruptions filled the atmosphere of Venus with so much carbon dioxide that there was a runaway greenhouse effect. That's why it's so hot and pressurized. The evidence of volcanic activity on Venus has another meaning. If we send new missions there in the future, we'll get to see the real-time story of the planet's evolution. Right now, NASA's Veritas mission, Venus Emissivity, Radio Science, INSAR, Topography, and Spectroscopy, and Europe's Envision mission are scheduled to launch in the next decade. Both of these missions will look at Venus's surface in more detail and confirm whether eruptions are still happening there. So Venus is no longer just a shining star, but perhaps even a pulsating planet. If volcanoes are really erupting there, it means that the planet is not dead yet. This discovery is huge not only for understanding Venus, but also for understanding the history of the entire solar system. The real meaning of the pictures. What are you really looking at? When we talk about Venus, the biggest question has always been what its surface looks like. It appears to be a shining star in the sky, but in reality, it was hidden behind thick clouds. Cameras and telescopes could never solve this mystery. But then history was made when spacecrafts landed on Venus and sent the first pictures from there. The Soviet Union's Venera mission was the first to do this. In 1975, Venera 9 and 10 sent the first pictures of Venus's surface. The pictures were black and white, but their meaning was very deep. In them, we saw for the first time what Venus's land is like, full of stones, broken, and completely barren. The surface there was not like the desert of Earth, but was covered with large rocks and cracks. Seeing this, scientists understood that Venus is a very active and harsh planet. After this, Venera 13 came in 1982, which sent color pictures. This was the clearest view yet. The images showed reddish-brown rocks and a clayey surface that looked like scorched earth. The probe also recorded sounds, the soft rustling of the wind and the rumbling of pressure on the surface. The images and audio brought Venus to life as a real place. NASA's Magellan mission, 1990 to 1994, was sent to observe Venus's surface not directly with a camera, but with radar. It scanned and mapped about 98% of the surface. These radar images showed that Venus has vast plains, high mountains, and lava flows thousands of kilometers long. The map also showed that Venus has volcanoes larger than Earth, such as Mayat Mons, which is about 8 kilometers high. The images also showed that the surface is constantly changing, meaning that volcanic activity may be ongoing. Then came Europe's Venus Express, 2006 to 2014 mission, which took infrared images. These images showed unusual heat in some places on Venus's surface. Scientists believed that these could be traces of fresh lava flows. That is, Venus is still volcanically alive today. When NASA's Parker Solar Probe passed near Venus in 2021, its Whisper camera took unexpected pictures. The camera was actually designed for the Sun, but it caught a glimpse of Venus's surface in visible light. Large areas such as Aphrodite Terra and Tellus Regio were seen in the pictures. This was the first time a camera showed the surface in direct light through the clouds. Now, what do these pictures really mean? There are rocks and stones on Venus's surface, like in volcanic areas on Earth. The colors there appeared reddish-brown, indicating burnt lava and minerals. Radar images showed mountains and volcanoes, indicating that the planet is geologically active. Infrared and visible light images confirmed heat emanating from the surface. Putting all of these images together, scientists realized that Venus is not a dead planet at all. Lava has flowed there for billions of years and may still be active today. Images from Venus showed that the bright star is actually a fireball, with rocks, fissures, lava, and poisonous air. What these images mean is that, for the first time, we have truly seen Venus, its true face, which until now had been hidden behind clouds. When all the images and data are put together, it becomes clear that Venus is no ordinary bright star, but a volcanic hell whose surface is still changing. The real glimpse of this world hidden behind the clouds was given by images that showed rocks, fissures, and perhaps even volcanoes still erupting. The question now is, will future missions reveal more of Venus's secrets? If yes, then maybe we will be able to understand our Earth better. Before moving on to the video, please subscribe to the channel so that such secrets reach you first.